Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. I know you guys are saying, Miss T, what you doing on early? You usually come on late. But in my show, I always ask if you have any questions, leave a comment or hit me up an email and I'll get back to you. So I decided that I'm going to answer you this way, and a little short and just give it to you short and sweet instead of doing a whole nother show about the same thing, even though I know we're going to be talking about these things all the time. So the question was, what do you mean there isn't going to be a fight? How do you know? First off, and before I get into that, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. If you have, you're already locked in. My show comes on Monday through Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're looking at the screen, you see that Boxing Fans Talk at gmail.com. Boxing Fans Talk at gmail.com is my email. So hit the like, share, and subscribe if you're watching me on replay, and leave a comment, and I'll get back to you just like this. So again, back to the question. The question was, what do you mean there isn't going to be a fight? How do you know? Because I did a show that basically was saying that Keith Thurman and Errol Spence is not going to fight. It's all a ruse. It's smoke and mirrors. It's a stall tactic. It's a duck tactic. But, of course, I had some questions fielded to me, so I'm going to answer. First off, this is my speculation, and I am 98.99% sure of it. And I'm sure of it for a myriad of reasons. I will answer with the question, why? Because it's better that I ask the question to you, you come up with the answer, and that way you came up with the answer. You walk right into the answer. That way you know these are facts, and I'm going to lead with facts. So I decided, I said, you know what I'm going to do to the Errol fans? I'm going to spoon feed them because I think it's best to spoon feed them. Like they might could take it better if you do it that way. And just give it to them in small dosages. I see Al Money is in the building. Water check. Y'all know I advocate for y'all to drink water, but this is a short Al Money. I'm not gonna be here long. I'm just answering the question. I asked for it. I said, hey, if you have any questions, hit me up. And so some people did. So let me answer this question. I'm going to talk about this over the coming days, but I'm going to spoon feed it to the folks that can't handle the whole package all at once, because I don't want them to get their blood pressure going up and for them to be losing their mind, especially those folks that belong to the Errol Spence Jr. Protection Bureau. Like my boy Reggie now. What's up, Reggie? So I'm going to spoon feed you. So let's start with the first fact. I'll ask this question. Since when have you ever heard of a sanctioning body ordering a fight with no deadline and no looming purse? Should I ask that question again? Since when have you ever heard of a sanctioning body ordering a fight with no deadline and no looming purse? When they order fights, they put a deadline on them, meaning that the fight got to be signed, sealed, delivered. Everything got to be hashed out and worked out. If not by that deadline, then it goes to purse bid and somebody else get the fight. But the fight is going to happen. To all my casuals, this is a great tool to break up that marination stuff that we be talking about, where fighters just avoid each other or don't put the fight together for a long time. This is a good tool that the sanctioning bodies can use. They can order a fight, And there's nothing that the promotional company or the manager can do to stop that order. So my question was, since when do they order a fight with no deadline? Because they always have a deadline. You got 20 days to make this fight happen. You got 30 days to make this fight happen, or else it's going to a purse bid, meaning we taking it out your hand. And everybody in the boxing community who are promoters, managers, or whomever can put a bid in for the fight, and they will make the fight. That's a plus, and that's sometimes a minus, because sometimes you can get a big paycheck doing it that way, but sometimes you can get the smallest of paychecks doing it that way. So, to the person who asked me the question, I won't reveal who you are because I don't do that. But if you can answer that question, you might be halfway there to the overall question you asked. Now, facts number 2. An original date was set for December 17, 2022 on the card with Frank Martin. That was the original date. When they ordered the fight, that they actually came up with a date. Don't know how they didn't come up with a deadline that I can remember, but they came up with a date. And Errol Spence was supposed to fight on that card. Facts number 3. There was no VADA testing that I'm aware of, and I looked for it. Y'all know on my channel, I've talked about the VADA testing. I've talked about the clean boxing program that the WBC have. Errol Spence, out of anybody in the world, has to abide by that clean boxing program because he holds the title. Anybody who's ranked high, and I want to say the top 15, they can be subject to taking VADA testing. But anybody going for the belts have to do VADA testing. Would you not believe that there was no VADA testing done before December 17th or leading up to December 17th? And VADA testing with the clean boxing program starts when the fight is signed, sealed, delivered. So, for instance, if you just saying a fight is going to be on December 17th, but there's no contract signed, then you don't have to comply with VADA at all. And VADA, if you don't comply, VADA will put you out on Front Street. They'll put it out there through the clean boxing program. But again, if you don't have no contract, you don't have to comply. So all I can say is, not saying that, and I'm not saying that Errol Spence or Keith Thurman is dirty. I'm saying there was no VADA testing. And guess what? VADA wasn't mad. So that tells me that there was no contracts from the begin with, even with that December 17th date. Other fact. I just explained to you the rules of how VADA works. I even got a whole episode on how that works. You should check it out. But Keith or Earl, couldn't find them in the VADA testing. Next fact. The WBA chimes in. I asked why. Earl wasn't even ranked in the top 3. So why would the WBA chime in? You think they will have Stanionis back. You think they would mind their own business. Why do they need to chime in? I have a theory on that, and this is me speculating. I think Errol Spence meant what he said when he said he don't want to fight Keith Thurman. I think he was digging in his heels or whatever to a certain degree. I'm sure for something he could be persuaded, right? But to a certain degree, Errol Spence has let the boxing world know he's over the Keith Thurman thing. And I think for that reason, he wasn't signing no contract. He wasn't trying to work with Al. He wasn't trying to hear that shit. And I think by Mauricio putting out an order, just think of it. Mauricio Suleiman, the president and CEO of the WBC belts, he puts out an order, but it has no teeth. Errol Spence ignoring it. Al Heyman can't do nothing about it. So what that make Mauricio look like? Because there's consequences to ignoring an order. If you ignore the order, the next step is to strip you of your title and for Keith Thurman to knock you off your perch from your ranking status. But they didn't want to do it for some reason. I guess that's how we got to look at it. They didn't want to do those things. They didn't want to hold those two guys' feet to the fire for ignoring the order. So they bring WBA in to put their finger on it. And President Mendoza of the WBA sanctioning body was happy to oblige. I do believe that these sanctioning bodies link up sometimes to help each other, a little quid pro quo every now and then. But he chimes in and he says, I double down. He doubled down on the order. But his deadline or his time for the fight was February 2023. Well, that would give Errol Spence more time to be thinking about the offers that Al Heyman and WBC are offering him. That would give WBC more time to answer or take up the offer that Earl offered them or asked of them, I should say. Neither here or there, the WBA bought them more time, and it helped them save face because now they don't have to, in front of the world, strip Errol Spence and knock Keith Thurman off their perch. They don't have to do it. Save face. They don't have to. They don't have to look like they got egg on their face when they put out an order that got ignored. So the WBA came in to the rescue and bought them more time because they doubled down and made the date for February. That's what I think. That's my speculation. Again, Errol Spence was not even ranked in the top 3, so why are you worried about the WBA? Now, for a fact, like I said, the fight was moved to February 2023. Yet there was no VADA from either one of them. And this is a WBC sanctioned body belt. Regardless of who wins, we all know that nobody's getting the strap. The strap is not leaving Errol Spence. But if you fighting at 154, WBA and the IBF cannot give you a strap for fighting at 154. They already got a person with that strap, and he goes by the name of Jermell Charlo. So they can't give you a strap for fighting outside your weight class. Don't work like that. If you think about it, when you do catch weights, they don't do that neither. So think about that. The other fact, here's another fact. The whole time that we had the December 17th date and the February 2023 date, there was never an official announcement. Never an official announcement for either one of those dates. Never a first press conference. Never nothing that made it official. But we, the fans, supposed to believe that, this fight is going down. And Earl has always claimed he will never fight Keith. Keith's been quiet this whole time. These are other things that stick in my craw that make me think, nah, this fight ain't happening. Since when you know Keith Thurman to be quiet? But see, that's an emotional part. That's a feeling part. Because Earl says what he says. That's how he feel. Keith is the type of person he has to get the gab. That's why he's sellable. Keith will be talking before he has a fight looming. And a side note, a lot of people kept saying Errol Spence is in the gym. He's working out. I can show you pictures of December 3rd where he wasn't working out. He wasn't in the gym. Now, far be it for me to call somebody fat or out of shape, but this is boxing where weight matters. So if you don't have your weight the way you're supposed to do, then what you want people to say? You know what I'm saying? What are they supposed to say? You know, December 3rd, I showed a picture. I'm gonna see if I have put it up here, because I can show it to you guys. I don't know if I still got it. No, I don't. But I showed you a picture of Errol Spence at a football game, and he was really overweight. I mean, we seen pictures with Earl out there with a plate, and I mean, he got a stomach and little chest area bulging a little bit. That's a nice way for me to put it. But he's overweight severely. He fights at 147. Now Errol Spence said he has a weight issue. But I'm gonna tell you that I can't use that as an excuse, because there's fighters like Devin Haney, Frank Martin, Shakur Stevens. They all young, right? But guess what they know? They know that when they reach Errol Spence age, that they're gonna have weight issues. They all know this now. So Errol Spence knew that back then. So you really can't complain about the weight. And then I say, what happened to November 19th? With or without you, I'm fighting. That day came and went, and you was not fighting. Remember this tweet? And I'm almost done, y'all. I'm going to show you this tweet. Where is it? Damn. I thought I had, wait a minute. Okay, there it is. Y'all remember this tweet? This tweet right here. I'm on a plane, bored, just talking. I don't know when I'm fighting for real. I was blindsided weeks ago. I'm still trying to figure things out. Now, this tweet is I'm a victim, but let me dig into Terence Crawford, which I'm not mad at him for saying he blindsided. I don't even have an argument. I'm not even going to rebut that. But I find it peculiar that on November 21st, he said, I don't know when I'm fighting for real. And at that time, you did know. It was December 17th. And better yet, I do you one better. A week prior to this, he went and begged the WBC at the convention that they hold every, I guess, year in the middle of November. Team Earl and him, they went there and begged for training wheels in regards to Keith Thurman fight. Miss T, why you call it training wheels? Because it's special provisions. You've never heard of such. Hey, can I fight at 154? And if he win, then it can't be for the belts. But we'll pay the sanction bodies. But this will satisfy my mandatory of 147 pounds. But I'm going to do it at 154. You needed training wheels. You asked for training wheels. But then you turn around and put this tweet out a week later and say, I don't know when I'm fighting for real. You knew the week before when you asked for them training wheels. You knew that you asked for Keith Thurman fight to have some training wheels with that. So what you talk about, is this a lie, y'all? This a straight up lie, or this misleading your public? I mean, y'all tell me. So, and the last question I have is, how do you pay sanctioning fees for a belt you can't win even if you win the fight? Make anything that I've said thus far make sense. I actually wanted this to be shorter, but I hope I answered your question. To the boxing fan that emailed me, thank you for the email. I appreciate it. Like I said, I read y'all emails and I get back to you. Remember, it's 2023, y'all. And in 2023 and beyond, we should all be drinking our water. Nobody should have a dehydration problem. That's all of us. So drink your water. I like to thank the folks that came through. PGH Big Dog, L Dub, and Our Money, Sir Aunt Bo. Thank y'all for coming through. This was meant to be a short answer to a question that somebody sent me. And I'll do these from time to time. Hopefully, I can get them down to 5 to 6 minutes. But that was a mouthful. I spoon fed you. But I'll pick it up from February another day. I still got some extra things I would like to say about the subject, but that's all we need to know right now. If that person who emailed me can answer those questions, then I think they answered their question. But thank you, and remember, water check. And in my Pamela James voice, peace.